Samar, are you
Yes,
able to
ma'am.
see? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
What can you see?
Ma'am, board.
Oh, good slide. मुझे नहीं दिख रहा ना वो स्लाइड. वो लेफ्ट साइड वाला प्रेस कर दीजिए. Everyone has come on. All have come. देखो वो नो पास.
अभी दिखेगा बच्चे बीच में
वो मैक्सिमाइज जज. हो गया ना. थैंक यू. Okay, Samarth and Aditya, you are able to see the screen that's shared, no? Development
Yes, ma'am.
page.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Last time, what did we do? Development. Let's do a recap. One week gone, so memory is not erased, no? Shouldn't be. Yes, Samarth, Aditya, what did we do last time? Yeah, first, what is development? Anything that is growing, progressing is development. Then, what else did we do? So, first is growing, grow, progress. Then, what else? Different people, different goals. Different people, different goals. Then, so just as you have different people, different goal, even where considering the country's development is concerned, you will consider various criteria. So for which income is one, where we spoke about per capita income. How do you calculate per capita income?
Average of all the salary of all people.
Yes. What is the example that we had done? Remember one?
5 people in one country.
Yes, 5 people in one country, like that we had taken 2 countries. What was the average of those?
10,000.
Correct. 10,000. Of both the countries, the average was 10,000. But what was the difference?
In one country,
A country have regular 10,000 rupees per person. In the B country, there are one having 48,000 and other having 500.
Correct. Very good. So there were 4. The second country, the first country, it was okay. Average of 10,000. Like somewhere it would have been 9,500. Somewhere it would have been 10,500. But on an average, everyone was getting the same. Country B, how was it? There, what did someone say? 500, 500, 500, 500. So there were 4 people getting 500 and the other 1/5 person getting the remaining 48,000. So what did that show? What did that show? That showed a disparity. Disparity or what else? What does it mean? A disparity, unequal distribution. Unequal. Okay, so what does this show? That for a country's progress, it's not just per capita income, but the distribution of it has to be evenly distributed. So it shouldn't be like country B. Would you want to be a part of country B? You wouldn't. You
No,
would
ma'am.
want to be a part, right? You would want to be a part of a country where the distribution is even. Okay, then yes, income. Where we spoke about per capita income. Formula for per capita income is.
average of salary of people.
So what is the? How will you do it?
Sum of all salaries divided by number of people.
Number of the population. So total income divided by the population would give you the per capita income. Yes, and also one more thing that we had done. What was that? Remember the well, the dam? Yes. What did
Yes,
that
ma'am.
show? What did that show? Samar?
Conflicting goals.
Conflicting goals, but that dam example showed what?
Different
What
people,
may be-
different goals.
Development.
No, that was what is development for one, maybe destruction for the other. So that was development for one, maybe destruction for the other. So that was the dam example that we spoke about. So in what way does it show development and destruction?
Destruction because the land of the people living there is taken away.
Correct. The land of the people living in that area before the dam was constructed has been taken away. So those people have been displaced from their houses, okay, or they have lost their source of livelihood also, because they might have been doing some kind of agriculture over there. Since the dam is built there, it means it would be in an area where there is plenty of abundant water supply, right? So which means they must be dependent on agriculture, and also obviously they might have been living in the same locality. So in that way, it's destruction. For disparity, what had the? Do you all remember the images? Yes. How many were there? On the right hand side, there were 2 images that we had used. Not the building. No, that building and the slums was What did that show, the building and the slum? That showed about what the developmental goals of a country like that should be. Where you have a building on one side and yes. There on one side you have a building and just below that you can see slums. So what does that show? What should be the developmental goals of a country like that? What should be the developmental goals? I'm asking what should be.
That to make more buildings and provide them with facilities.
Provide the poor with facilities rather than increasing facilities for the already rich. Give them education, provide them jobs so that they are able to sustain a living by themselves. Now we come back to that, those two images that we were talking about. What did that show?
Some children were enjoying their snacks
Yeah.
and others were sharing.
Yes. Some children were, there were two images. The lower one was of the two groups of children who were, there was one category of rich children from affluent families. They were having some kind of a party where each one had a plate of his own, plus they had a lot on the table laid in front of them. And on the other side, what was the other image? In contrast,
Eating in one plate.
yeah, the poor people, they were not even fed well, they didn't have enough, they didn't kept the food on a newspaper, such little bit of food to eat, so many of them sharing, and they didn't even have proper clothes to wear. So that showed disparity. And above that, there was one more image which showed disparity. What was that? Remember what it was? Yes. There was a man, there were two men. There was one man who was lanky, poor, bony, skinny man, and he is feeding a man who is from a wealthy family, who's rich and very well fed. So what does that show? That shows disparity. What else had we done? We spoke about those three cities, Haryana, Kerala. We didn't do? Okay. Which video I won't be able to see? This screen. What should I press this? Oh, but I won't be able to see them, no? They can't be interrupted. I can't see them in this screen. I can actually put this. No? Let it be on this side. What was this? What does this show? There's this man, he's thinking of so many things, income and so much more. So other than income, you need so many more things. It's not just money. You need family, security, you need friends, you need to learn, you need equality. And we did that example of the job. What was that?
One job provided more income and less security, and another provided less income and security.
Exactly. One job provided more salary but less security, and the other provided a salary which is comparatively less, but then it was a secure job. So mostly everyone preferred the lower one with the higher security. So what does this show? That money is not everything. This we did, no? Yeah, this we did. This is what you were talking about, no? That building and stuff. This we did. Should I? Better? This one we didn't do. Okay. So this is income and other criteria. My bad lines. Okay. So for achieving development goals of people not only want better income, they also want non-material things like freedom, security, and respect of others. So what do people want? Income. Yes, they want. This is material. But what are the other things that they want?
Right.
Freedom, security, and respect. These are one of the things. There are many more. So you need freedom, security, and respect, etc. So these are abstract or non-material things. So for development of a nation, average income or per capita income is needed. Okay, now another aspect is when we are considering the development of, before that I'll ask you where your families are concerned, where our families are concerned, where are most of the expenses centered towards? Two things. Your parents earn, right? Where are most of the expenses going? Okay. What else? No. Children. Okay, on children. So say on y'all, where are the expenses? Education. Correct. So one is education, and another important aspect is food. Food is a part of your health. They'll say, okay, go buy a cycle. Maybe if you need some gadget, they might not be so willing to buy. But then yes, if you want a cycle, they say, good, at least you'll go out and you'll exercise. Or there are parents spending on gyms and on good food, healthy food, even if it might be a little more at a premium rate. So there are two things, education and health. Okay, so where a country's development is concerned, other than income, these two are considered as the most important parameters. Okay, then you will have expenses going on liabilities, paying your debts, or recreation, going out of town. Okay, all those things. But the most important two criteria are education and health. See, your parents are sending you to schools, but they're also sending you here, so they are investing on you, right? So what is that for? So that you have a brighter future ahead and you make your career. So now here we take these three states into consideration: Haryana, Kerala, and Bihar. In Haryana, what is a per capita income? It is 1,62,000 and 34. Kerala it is 1,40,000, 190. Bihar it is 31,454. So if you were only to see this income criteria, which one would be the most developed and which one would be the least? Haryana would be the most developed, then Kerala, and then Bihar, right? But then is it so? There are other criteria which we have to consider. See there, if per capita income were to be used as the measure of development, Haryana will be considered the most developed and Bihar the least developed state. However, this is not true if we look at the other criteria. What are the other criteria that we have considered? Infant mortality rate, per 1,000 live births. What is infant mortality rate?
The number of infants children at the age of 3
1. Age of 1, yeah.
died per
Yeah.
1,000.
Correct. But how many of them are able to survive till the age of 1 year? Okay, that also speaks of the health of the mother, the nutrition of the society as a whole. Okay, so again, this corresponds to health. Okay, infant mortality rate. Then literacy rate, obviously, that's education, and net attendance ratio per 1,000 persons. Secondary stage, age 14 and 15. The next screen will clarify things for you. It's the same thing. So in this table, the first column shows that in Kerala, out of 1,000 children born, 12 died before completing 1 year of age, but in Haryana, the proportion of children dying within 1 year of birth was 36. Yeah, so what are you able to see over here? Haryana. Okay, see Haryana. What is the infant mortality rate? 33. Kerala is the least. Bihar is 38. Literacy rate, Haryana is 82. Kerala is 94 and Bihar is 62. Net attendance ratio. Net attendance ratio means still in the secondary stage, that is still 14 or 15 children who are continuing with their education. Okay, because there are many who will do their primary, especially in rural areas. They'll go to primary school maybe till the 3rd or the 4th, and then they will drop out. Probably they don't have the facilities there, they have to go far away, or they are just not interested. There's no, there's nobody to push them to do that. So here net attendance ratio, in Haryana it is 61, Kerala it is good, and Bihar it's 43. So had income been the only criteria, which was this, then all the parameters of Haryana would have been on the higher side, on the better side, but it's not so. So that's why this shows that income cannot be the only criteria for judging the development of a country. Now we come to public facilities. Public facilities. Money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. What does this mean? What does this relate to public facilities? Money can help you buy personal things that you want, but where public facilities are concerned, like this, what can you see? This, there are fumes coming out of the chimney, right? So if you are living in a community like that, can you ever evade this? Can you ever avoid? Will the fumes say that, no, you are rich, so I won't come to you, and no, you're poor, so I'll go to you? Would it distinguish between the rich and the poor? It won't.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. So same with this, the other thing, like what happened where COVID was concerned. Was anyone spared? Did the virus say, oh, wait, you're rich, so I won't come to you. I'll go to this person who doesn't have so much money. No, that doesn't happen. So income by itself is not a completely adequate indicator of material goods and services that citizens are able to use. Okay. Yes, you might be able to avoid it to a certain extent. Like if you have pollution, you might stay indoors, you'll close the windows, you might put the AC, but what happens when you go out? How far can you avoid? Can you avoid breathing? What more can you do? Okay. And the COVID thing is like a good example. Who was spared from it? Was any rich person spared? Did it happen like that? No. Okay, so that means money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. This table, it's in your textbook, you can solve it, okay, later. This field rate, BMI. BMI stands for what? Body mass index. Do you have your textbooks? If you have it, it's on page 12 and 13. Is there in this? Why? But you did have 2 classes and that was any read it here. You all can go home and work it out. So one way to find out if we are properly nourished. Page 12 and 13. Got it? Activity 3. Summer textbook, huh? Textbook page 12 and 13. In this it is. What page number? Yeah, this table on the left is there in the resource book. Okay, that's page 193. Table 1.5. Okay, but we are doing this activity 3 right now, which is not there in this, no? It's there in your textbooks. If you have it, you open it. So, activity 3, the rest of you. One way to find out if we are properly nourished is to calculate what nutrition scientists call body mass index or BMI. It is easy to calculate. Let each student in the class find out his or her height, weight and height. Take the weight of each student in kilograms. So you calculate you can do this as a home assignment. So you check your weight in kgs. Then take the height by drawing up a scale and accurately measuring. Convert the height recorded in meters. So height you are going to need in meters. Divide the weight in kg by the square of the height. Okay. Divide the weight in kg by height square. Okay. And whatever answer you get, you might get some 15.2 or whatever, like it's given in this example. There are 2 pages at the end. See, somewhere towards the end of the book. I'll show you these pages. Yeah. See here. Here you have these on page 90 and 91. There are these 2 pages. One is, this is for girls. This side is the BMI for girls and this is for boys. Okay. And that is given as per your exact age. Like if you are 14 years and some months. So you calculate it accordingly and these 3 categories are given. So whatever you get accordingly would be your BMI. In your cases, I think everyone's would be common. Mine would be high. Okay, so you all calculate at home. I won't calculate. Huh? No? Lucky, but good. Better to be on the lower side than on the higher side. That even if it is on the other side of the scale, that's also termed as malnutrition. But really ask me. So it's better if you're on that side of the scale than on the other side. It doesn't matter.
Suppose they कुछ खाता नहीं है क्या?
Huh?
they कुछ खाता नहीं है क्या?
The people are anyways going to say it. So it's okay. Later at least she's on the thinner side. I'm happy. Doesn't matter. Could be like that only. Tell me also how you're staying that way. Take some of mine for you. I'll give her some of mine. Okay. So this way you could calculate the BMI. Probably if you had a slimmer teacher, you wouldn't have been praised so much. So I value it more. Okay. So next is the Human Development Report. Once it is realized that even though the level of income is important, yet it is an inadequate measure. What is an inadequate measure? Income. The level of income is an inadequate measure of the level of development. We begin to think about other criterion. There could be a long list of such criterion, but then it would not be so useful. What we need is a small number of the most important things. Small number of the most important things. So health and education indicators here. These two indicators, health and education indicators, such as the ones we used in comparison of Kerala and Haryana, are among them. Over the past decade or so, health and education indicators have come to be widely used along with income as a measure of development. For instance, Human Development Report published by the UNDP compares countries based on the educational levels of people, their health status, per capita income. It would be the data. Okay, so here we spoke about BMI and health and education being important parameters other than income. And this sustainability. What is it? Sustainability. Sustainability means what to sustain? Why? Why are you tickling up? Why are you tickling up? Okay. So, what is the meaning of sustain? To sustain. Again, she did. What? No, now it will happen. Now, even if she moves a little, no, I'll feel she's doing something. Huh? No, it's okay. Sit. Okay, so what do you mean by sustain? Kind of maintain. Like if you all are, say, you all study very hard, okay, this time, you all otherwise get, say, for example, you are not be getting more also, but for example, you all get 80% in your exams. This time you said, मैं बहुत मेहनत करूँगा. I'll put in my best efforts. I'll study everything thoroughly. I won't do any kind of cheating where my studies is concerned. Okay, I'll put in my 100%. And you do that. And you get a 90%. कैसा लगेगा? How will you feel? See, thinking of it, she's having a smile on her face, right? You're going to feel good, right, about getting the 90%. You'll feel totally like your morale will be boosted, 100% level of confidence. Also, your parents will praise you. After you get your marks, they'll say, huh? So you were working very hard and I'm very happy you scored well. They might tell their neighbors and relatives, that happens, no, with parents. So now you have elevated your level to getting a 90%. Now what you'll have to do next exam, you cannot afford to get 100 to, but at least you'll have to maintain. हाँ, 90 से कम लाया तो नहीं चलेगा. You used to get 80. She's so sad thinking about it. What had happened?
In the first term, I got 93%. नहीं, first term. कुछ भी.
Online था ना?
It was offline.
Offline. Where? Offline में था. So what?
It dropped down to 80.
See, one thing, our competition has to be with ourselves. And I see that you people also know. You don't know how to appreciate. Now, if she's saying that I did well, I got a good score, you people are saying, yeah, online tha na. Then when she's saying offline tha, kya hoga? MCQ tha. Oh, what does that mean?
We don't like to appreciate our friends.
Huh?
We don't like to.
That's what. But if your friends appreciate you, you will be very happy, no? That you'll want to, you'll tell them, नहीं मेरे को appreciate मत कर, मैं नहीं करती हूँ किसी को. Don't. हाँ, so what happened? You got
In the
a
second
93.
term, it dropped down to 85%.
हाँ.
From that was the
ये ऑनलाइन था ये पक्का ऑनलाइन था
तो आजा मेरे स्कूल में मैं बताती हूँ.
We'll make them give the same exam
Yes,
and
ma'am.
see if they're getting 90. We'll give you
I got 98
same exam you get.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that must be
MCQ it was.
Online
online होगा.
No, I'm doing the same thing. See, I'll tell you. Now, she might have got 98, she might have got 93. He might have got, not he. Otherwise, he'll feel that मेरे को बोल रहे हैं. Oh, you got? See, he got 99.9. There might be somebody else who might get, I might be studying and I might have got 80%, yeah. But compared to what I did earlier, I must have done well, no? So that's good. Your comparison has to be with yourself. You have to better yourself. You got a 93. You got an 8. You used to get?
I'm around.
See, around 70s she used to get, and she's got a 93. So that's good. She used to. Okay. So anyway, your one point apart from the chapter is that your competition has to be with yourself. You have to better yourself. Okay. So don't compare yourself with others. That's what I believe in. That's what I even tell my daughter. Because when you think about somebody else and getting marks as much as them or getting some percent, your level of stress, your pressure increases. And with a high level of stress, you cannot perform your best. So the only thing that should be in your mind is I have to do my best. Am I putting in my best? If the answer is yes, great going. If the answer is no, then fix it. क्या कमी रह गई थी? क्या नहीं किया मैंने? When did I avoid? You would know, na? Right? So let that not happen. Don't think, at least that's my belief. Don't think that I have to get 100% or I have to get as much as that student. I have to do my best and genuinely put in your best efforts. Don't need to stress yourself. Okay. So she got a 93. Next, you got an 80. See. So from 70s, if she would have got 85, she would have been happy. But now that same 85, she was not happy with because she had got a 93 earlier. So what she had to do, she had to would have needed to sustain herself at that percentage. Or even parents, mummy ne bola na right? और पहले अगर 93 नहीं आया तो that same 85 में she would have said,
Yes, ma'am.
I know that happens. So that's to sustain. So now coming back to sustainability of development, you can see that globe on the top. We do not inherit the earth. Where are those children? We do not. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. Borrow. Can I borrow your pencil? Means what? I'm borrowing it. Take it back. Thank you. Can I take your pencil? See, now he might not even be willing to give it to me because he'll feel that she's not going to give it back to me. So there's a difference between borrowing and taking. If I take it, I don't give it back, that's taking. Borrowing means you're lending it to me, I have to give it back to you. So where the earth is concerned, we are borrowing it from our future generations. We cannot finish it. We are not taking it from them. We are borrowing it. So we take it. What would I have done? I would have taken his pencil. I would have used it and I would have given it back to him. Correct? If I use it in such a way that he gets only this black part, would that be fair? Right? I would have exploited and overutilized the resource. That wouldn't have been fair, correct? So that's what we have to do even with our environment. We have borrowed it from them. We cannot exploit it. We cannot deplete it. We cannot overutilize it. Okay. So that's sustainability of development. See the definition. Sustainable development can be defined as development that meets the needs of the present. Point number one is meets needs of present. Second point is without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Without compromising on future. Correct? So I would use it from him without diminishing his ability to use it. Okay. It is helpful to fulfill the needs of the human beings without harming the ability of the future generation. So we use it at the same time, don't deplete it in a way that the future find it difficult to use it. Some renewable resources like groundwater will take a long time to be replenished. So we should use that resource in finite quantity. Finite means limited. See this here. What is this? This you'll write down at the end. This is this sustainable development goals. Okay, you all could write this down at the end. We'll go to the next. Groundwater in India. We were talking about exhaustion of natural resources, depletion of natural resources. Recent evidence suggests that the groundwater is under serious threat of overuse in many parts of the country. About 300 districts have reported a water level decline of over 4 meters during the past 20 years. Nearly 1/3 of the country is overusing their groundwater reserves. How much? As much as 1/3 of the country is overusing our groundwater reserves. In another 25 years, 60% of the country would be doing the same if the present way of using this resource continues. Groundwater overuse is particularly found in the agriculturally prosperous regions of Punjab and Western UP. Why? Because they do more of agriculture over there, so there's more of a requirement of water. Also, hard rock plateau areas of central and South India, some coastal areas, and rapidly growing urban settlements. Now, why is groundwater overused? Why is groundwater overused? Hmm? Yes, to meet the high needs. Like for example, you all must be knowing about the green revolution. So soon? You must be knowing. I'll finish. You all must be knowing about the green revolution, right? So because of those HYV seeds, that are used, the high yielding variety, those also need more of water. Okay. Plus, we might not be having alternative sources of water, so that's why there is overuse and exploitation. Then this one also is there in your books. Okay, the figures may be different, but don't worry about that. Okay, the concept is going to be the same. Now this one I want you all to write down, just write it quickly. 17. Okay, I'll go till then you'll copy. Don't get this one.
बोलना चाहिए था पहले
Okay, okay, one
मेरे ये वीडियो में देखिए
जो रेसिपी होती है ये बाय
नहीं मेरी माँ बाहर गई है मेरी माँ ने बोला यहाँ काफी क्या
A last class why Anuj na? I forgot your name. Why absent? How am I करता हूँ? So look, this who's it? Guys, can you hear me clearly?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Good evening to all of you. Jaslin is
Good
there,
evening,
Aditya
sir.
is there, and Samarth is there. So we are starting the class again back with our nationalism in Europe. So I would love to show one of the book the student has done it. I hope she is pretty interested in history.
No.
So besides not interested in history, she has done wonderful work. She is entitled to get a chocolate from me, which might be soon. Since she has said no, I would love to cancel it.
Sir, I love history.
She's now flattering. Okay, let's continue. What was the last heading that we have done? Heading. Some area but
Meaning of that painting.
meaning of that
Painting.
painting we have completed.
Yes.
All the points. Any queries, anybody? So are we get on to go quickly without wasting our time? I'll be checking the notebook afterwards. So just tell me, anybody have a query of that Frederick Sordio painting? Anybody? Anybody need a recap? Anuj? He doesn't know. Oh my God. ठीक है, फिर बाद में तेरे लिए अलग से कर लेते हैं. Everyone except Anuj were present. I think one or two child missing. इधर कोई तो बैठा था. कौन है वो? साईनाथ. अच्छा जो भी. I don't remember. So we are into a page number 3, I think. Am I correct? There are two definitions of the nation you have to study. One is Ernst Renan, which is a comprehensive definition. You understand the meaning of the word comprehensive? A bigger one, simple. And then the one that you have to write in the exam is this. What is a nation? So which one you want me to do? Explain first. The smaller one. Okay? So now if I ask you, is India, again the groups, is India a nation? Yes or no? Yes. If I ask you why, then they'll say no. Nation, population of its own, a sovereign government of its own, territorial integrity. You understand the word integrity? And the power of the people, the power of the government is from the common people. Is all the 4 things there with India? Yes. Do we have complete sovereignty? Complete. Sovereignty ka meaning anybody? Like Russia today, without the permission of UNO, 56th or the 7th, 56th day, if I am very precise, bombarding Ukraine like anything. Just remove the word Russia, put India. Can India do like what Russia is doing? Why not?
Yes,
Why not? Why not? Because we are not 100% sovereign like Russia. Correct? Still, we obey the rules and regulation of international body. Which is that body? UNESCO. अरे उसका mother बोले तो ये उसका बच्चा बोले. UNO. Is India a designated member of UNO? Yes. So now we have to understand what is a nation which is written down there. I'm just reading it. Everyone look into that page. A nation is formed by, open bracket, a common language, race, religion, or territory, close the bracket, where everyone lives in, underline, the word harmony, and government derives its authority from the people. Underline the word authority, I'll explain. Repeat. Just religion, bracket close after the word territory, underline the word harmony, and underline government, underline the word authority from people. I think majority of the words are there in India, but the word called HARMONY, what does it mean? Is not in India? I'm asking, is it in India? Wait, let me pick up Aditya. Aditya, tell me, do we have a harmony in our country?
yes, sir.
Wait, I haven't seen it any part of India. But Delhi में क्या हो गया? Delhi में क्या हो गया? He was in Delhi on that day only. Like Anu just brought some good memories of Delhi. You were not in that area. Oh, very bad. मतलब अनुज गया और उधर दिल्ली में हंगामा हो गया. What happened? He's asking me what happened. He's socially irresponsible boy. Hey, what has happened in Delhi? Riots between two community on the beautiful occasion of Hanuman Jayanti. In fact, I don't know, I was in one of the branch of UT only, and a boy called me and told me, sir, आज Hanuman Jayanti है. मैं बोला नहीं. उसने बोला क्यों नहीं? बोला आधार कार्ड हनुमान का अभी तक मिला नहीं है, बर्थ डेट उसमें नहीं है. How do you know that it is Hanuman Jayanti? Everybody knows what is Hanuman Jayanti. क्या किया उस दिन आप लोग ने? जसलीन ने क्या किया? जो हर रोज करता है वही आज भी किया है. So the riot was the biggest example of our country that we have become totally intolerant. You understand what is intolerant? And if you have remembered the news channel, which have shown the main culprit was taken by the police. He was showing some acts of that movie called Pushpa. देखो उसने बच्चे ने किया. Despite doing all the activities, he is mocking the democracy of the country. You understand what I'm trying to say? So this you have to write in the exam if they ask you what is a nation. Again, I'm reading. A nation is formed by open bracket common language, race, religion or a territory. ये सब इंडिया में है. Where everyone lives in harmony. Are we living in harmony? At least in theory we are. But practically there are many things which are not correct. And government, underline, derives its authority from the people. This is the simple definition of you help me now. Add some chilled water. Now we are going to get into Ernst Renan's definition. Only few lines you have to remember. In fact, I'll give it in your notebook. What is Ernst Renan? Read. You only keep asking me why to underline, what to close.
According to
Here we have more people. Ernst Renan.
A nation is the
Culmination.
culmination of a long past of
Underline that word culmination. Long pass. Your reading is perfect. That's a take. How do I explain that word? In this essay, Renan citizens, the notion suggested by others, the nation is formed by a common language, race, religion, or a territory. A nation is the culmination of a long past of endeavor. Can I use the word endeavor? Is achievements, the past glory. Indian history is how old? बच्चा बोलेगा since I have started my 5th standard, it is old. बराबर है ना? तो 5th standard कब start किया आप लोगों ने? 2016 में.
70.
तो तब से history start हुआ. You tell me, Samarth, how old is Indian history? I don't know. I have started from ancient history, तो मैं वही बता सकता. Ancient history था ना तुमको पहला? नहीं था? They say around 3,000 to 4,000 years is our history. ठीक है, don't fight, don't fight. Hey, listen. If you have read Harappan civilization, have you read through? That was the beginning of Indian history. Indian history. Indian history. That is 4,000 years old. Even Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Nile, you talk any, they are much earlier than Indian. So we are proud to say that our civilization is the oldest. Are you guys are also proud? Unless and until you don't get questions from that in your exam. Let's proceed. Good. Glory, sacrifice and devotion. Did we do sacrifice to the country called India? Yes, not we, maybe our generations might have done. Okay. And then devotion, a heroic past, great men, glory, that is the social capital upon which the idea of the nation is lying. What is the social capital according to you? If I ask Indian independence, the names Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. These are those people based on which we have made our which history? Indian independence history. Is that correct? Based on which we have made our modern India. Are you understanding? So this is the definition given by whom? Given by whom? Ernst Renan. Very good. Comprehensive definition of nation. To have common glories in the past, to have a common will in the present, and to have performed great deeds together. Underline that word. What is the great deeds they are referring? Which great deeds? Forget about your father, your mother. What you guys are going to great deeds to our nation. Independent. Abhi kya is that?
Economy.
How? Wonderful line. She's saying she's going to contribute. Anuj, anything? Anuj is running away from Delhi. That's the biggest thing.
Want to contribute to economy by doing jobs.
Wonderful. She is going to contribute by doing jobs. Anyone? Come on here. Put some.
Start a business and empower.
He is like his papa to start a business. Very good. He's a future entrepreneur of UT. Good. What else? She doesn't. She's more doing like this, maybe into beauty pages. And this person will say, whatever job you do it with complete dedication. What is that word dedication stands for you? Although I am sitting here, my brain is waving out of the class. ये कब जाएगा? अंदर घुस तो गया और 40 minutes बैठेगा, है ना? यार वो TV channel में ये चलता रहेगा. ये सब चलता है ना? The online students have that advantage. Samarth? No. Aditya? I think Jaslin की मम्मी बीच-बीच में आके check करके जाती है. What Jaslin? Check नहीं करता मम्मी? अच्छा ठीक है. Let's proceed. Shut down the camera. A nation is therefore underlined large scale solidarity. What is the other word for solidarity? Look at the expression. Solidarity. Huh? Sir, uska bhi meaning mujhe nahi malum. Hey, what is solidarity? Try to karo, guess karo. देखो in India north to south how much is the kilometers? वो में से नहीं क्या 5,000 इतना भी 2,400 close and it is something 2,000 north south and east west extent. Correct? Are we proud to say that India is one? Yes. From J&K to Kanyakumari, Cape of Good Hope, and from Ran of Kutch to Arunachal Pradesh. Is every citizen calling themselves as Indians? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Internal differences there. That shows our solidarity, the strength of being a nation. What's it? Solidarity means the strength you pose to the foreigner when he is on your boundary. Although the Chinese army was at Doklam, but Indians showed their path. They don't enter into our LOC or LAC. 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 मुझे politics सिखाते समय याद दिलाना. I'll tell you the difference. Its existence underlined a daily plebiscite. Plebiscite, you write popular voting. I'll give you an example also. A province, its inhabitants, if anyone has the right to be consulted, underline. It is the inhabitant. Means if you want to check what is India, you don't go and ask a Pakistani, tell me more about Indian culture. Will he or she will be able to? Why not? Pakistan was part of India. Obviously, but now what you and me follow, only the local people can tell. So if you want to know more about that particular citizen, a particular country, you ask which habitant? The local inhabitant. समझ में आ रहा है? The existence of a nation is a good thing, a necessity even. Their existence is a underline guarantee of liberty. ये बच्चा तो इधर चल रहा है, यार मुंह रो रहा है, इधर है, इतना देर तक ढूंढ ही रहा था वो. Which would be lost, underline, if the world had only one law and one master. What is this line saying? One law and one master? Monarchy, very good. People will be bored to see entire countries under one person.
Dictatorship.
Dictatorship, wonderful. यही मैं पूछ रहा था. और क्या है? A despotic ruler. What is that word despotic? I think 9th I was explaining in history, the world history, only 3 kings have got the title called the Great, out of which 2 kings are from India alone. Wonderful. Ashoka the Great. Second,
Alexander the
Alexander the Great. Third,
Alexander India था.
नहीं दो इंडियन थे, बाकी
There is name was from P.
who's a P. He's playing puzzles with me. His name is अकबर द ग्रेट. तो सोच लो जो भी ए से आएगा शायद आगे जाके ऐसा नहीं. Alexander the Great, Akbar the Great, and Ashoka the Great. I mean, what made them great? That I will not tell you now because it will take a bit of time. But at least these administrations were considered to be one of the best for the common people. Correct? Can I say today, Vladimir Putin the Great? क्यों नहीं? Already people have given him the title. He's the Nazi new Hitler. We don't know whether he's the Hitler or what. Correct? But at least we can give him the title, the word great. Now you understand that line again I'm reading. Their existence is a guarantee of liberty which would be lost if the world had only, underline, one law and only one master. Now tell me anywhere you want me to explain Ernst Renan definition. Now you can put in your notebook. Nation, bracket में लिख लो Ernst Renan's view. A nation, हाँ, very good. Ernst Renan. Continue करो. A nation, definition of nation. I didn't write the board. Define nation. Define nation. It is Ernst Renan. Some people say Ernest Renan. I don't know how to pronounce. Ernst Renan. The other one you can directly write, na? I won't give you. Write up. Yes. I'm giving it. A nation is the combination. A nation is a combination. A nation is a combination of long, glorious past. I'm also writing along with you. Long, glorious past. I'm just adding few words to challenge this fellow. Long, glorious past of endeavor.
It is a combination.
Sacrifice and devotion. Sacrifice and devotion. And just bear with my writing. I don't give it a bacha mood. Maybe I am ready. What did I say? Come on.
Sacrifice and devotion.
Devotion. Sharing. A heroic past. Sharing a heroic past.
And can you repeat?
Sharing a heroic past. I come in the camera for these days. Sharing a heroic
No, sir,
past.
from first, I'm disconnected.
You are misdirected. Where did you direct yourself?
Then disconnected.
I said disconnected. Oh my Kanpur ka problem. A nation is a combination of long, glorious past of endeavor, sacrifice, devotion, sharing a heroic past, or achievements, greatest achievements, endeavor.
Sharing of
अभी उसके आगे
heroic past.
Great men with high glory. Great men with समझा कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my God. My throat is at the peril. Glory, great men with high glory, leading to. I'm just adding few words. Leading to the greatest social capital ever. Leading to the greatest capital ever. I will explain this line for you.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can you
Who's
repeat
it?
after heroic past?
आप लोग कैसे यार मेरे साथ इतना? हाँ?
You are not audible.
No, I'm not audible. I'm repeating right from the beginning, Samarth and Jocelyn. A nation is a combination of long, glorious past of endeavor, sacrifice, and devotion, sharing a heroic past. Great man to बोला नहीं.
Great.
Madam, वो क्या workout था जरा हमको भी सिखाओ जरा. Just in between the lectures. Greatest achievement with high glory, leading to a greatest social capital ever. Shilpa Shetty's audience. Abhi samjha? Anuj, you also picked up? Hey, don't make me to repeat the words and I'll be, because I'm just combining certain lines and doing. What is that? A great man with glorious social capital upon which इधर है ना, ever upon which the notion of nation समझेगा या मुझे word को change करो. A notion of nation relies or rest. Notion or the whatever. Notion of nation rest. That is better. And let me pull you back to the goal. अच्छा नोशन नहीं तो फिर और क्या बोले मैंने एक concept. I mean, look here. I am saying social capital ever, the greatest social capital. Can you name India before independence, the greatest leaders of the country? ये जो भी हिस्ट्री टेक्स्ट बुक में आता है, हाँ, अशोक का ग्रेट टू, and then what? Freedom fighters, Mahatma Gandhi, Dayanand Saraswati, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. I can keep on naming. Did we produce any human capital or social like those today? No. Are you sure? We have a party leader. I don't want to name the leader, called AAP. The party came with the foundation of releasing all the corruption in India. But the leader of that country himself is doing many corruption. मैं hidingly the record हो रहा है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ he's saying that. Second, of the party in India which is considered to be the largest party in the world. Correct? They also say, sir, it is not only the largest, it is also the richest party in the world. Why? We do not. But then Mahatma Gandhi का सिद्धांत पर हमारा प्राइम मिनिस्टर चलता है. उसका कुर्ता 5.5 लाख का है. Can we imagine Mahatma Gandhi coming up with a shawl of 10 lakhs and he is advising to the common people, please wear simple khadi clothes. Sir, आपने जो shawl पहना वो कितना है? वो तो free में मिला था, वो टक लेकर आया था. Are you understanding to whom I am referring? So if I am saying you guys are going for a nation with the highest social capital ever, I might have remembered saying to this 9th standard on online, Subhash Chandra Bose was considered to be the biggest leader of Congress. But then Nehruji and he had a difference of opinion. In fact, Nehruji called Subhash Chandra Bose his greatest rival. The day when Subhash Chandra Bose left INC, might be Nehruji might have been the happiest person of his life. Seriously. Even after the plane crash, there was a mob who was trying to kill this fellow because he did not die in the plane crash, according to certain documentaries. Some people told, sorry, the mob was under the leadership of Nehru himself. That also we can say, but he died. But this fellow, he did not die in a plane crash. He died after a long time. He was there in India only, hiding from the so-called Congress group which want to murder him. Can we put all this into history? I will be counting the bars inside the jail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the bar? But now then, I think I've shared into my Insta page. Now the present government has asked a separate group of historians, a new history textbook. You guys will be getting it. At least after my board exam. Really? Within a span of 2 years, all the leaders who were purposely hidden, like Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, what has happened to the death of Subhash Chandra Bose, everything they are going to bring it to the light. Definitely not for you guys, maybe. Matlab kya hai? Even the historians who were hired by the government made only two person the hero, Gandhi and Nehru. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So here that person earns Ranan saying sacrifice and devotion to Raigai along with all this, but they should have a highest social capital ever. अभी हम लोग आज का पॉलिटिक्स में बोल सकते हैं इंडिया के पास हाईएस्ट सोशल कैपिटल है. Maybe in future some people will say Narendra Modi was a great leader. We do not. Unless and until Congress does not step in, we do not know how great is this will. But for the time being, he is the greatest. As you understanding? Now read the Hans Renan and tell me you are reading that quick. Then we have to write what is nation state, not write, we can directly move. Is it easy for you to learn? Because in exam they'll separately ask you, what is a nation as per Ernst Renan? Then only write this. If they ask you what is a nation, you write the simple answer, which is there below. Correct? Yes. Quick, anybody? Any query? Okay, let's proceed. Now go to the next page. We have a small definition called nation state. Did you see? Anuj, please read.
A nation state was one in which the majority of its citizens, and not only its rulers, came to develop a sense of common.
Underline that word, common identity and share a history. Now, if I tell you the word common identity, you and me derive our identity from the Red Fort. You and me are for the Red Fort? No. At least we know what is the importance of the Red Fort. What is the importance? Flag of state. Okay, flag. What else? Huh? The first freedom speech by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Anybody remember a few words of that? At the stroke of the midnight, when the entire world is sleeping, India is awakening to light and freedom. And I promise to the entire world that India, a solemn and sovereign nation, will rise to the greatest of the height. ये पूरा रट्टा मत करो. ऐसा कुछ नहीं. बार-बार बोल के याद हो. And then the entire people saw, oh, India become a new nation. But before India, one more nation also became new nation. What was that? Pakistan. Just one day
Pakistan.
before. Correct. Very quickly come up. Then we have the greatest leader of the Pakistan called, what was his name? Parvez Musharraf. Oh my God. Who did not forget that? Who is the father of the modern nation? Pakistan. Who was the creator of Pakistan? He was also a barrister. He was also a barrister. His name was M.A. Jinnah. Muhammad Ali Jinnah. I will teach you in Indian history when Mahatma Gandhi gave a separate province to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And that pact is called बोलो जसलीन सोडी क्या कर रहा है सोडी है सोडी है सोडी है हाँ बोलिए सोडी जी क्या है It is called as Bombay Pune Act. नहीं मैं under this act Gandhiji gave special rights to the Dalit people. Now Mr. M.A. Jinnah was infurious. What is infurious? No, he was already very angry with Gandhi. But when this was given, he was very much stubborn. Abhi humko bhi do. What is humko bhi? Muslim community ko chahiye. So this is the birth of the division between Hindu and Muslim. And Mr. Mahatma Gandhi made his valiant attempt. Don't separate India and Pakistan. But the people started hating and killing each other. And ultimately we had two nation theory put forward by M.A. Jinnah. Now you understood what is the birth story of Pakistan? Okay, let's proceed now. Now please, Anuj, you only.
This commonness did not exist from time immemorial.
Huh.
It was forged through struggles.
Underline the word forged, मतलब forced, है ना? मतलब ये जो feeling है, it is not through immemorial. What is immemorial? Till the time my memory goes. But it was forced upon us. What is forced upon us? If I tell you the word Hindu is not a religion today, will you guys think, "Hey, क्या बोल रहे तू?" We were belong to a civilization which we call as a Sindhu civilization. With the passage of time, the word sir removed and her came in between. Sindhu से क्या बने हम लोग? So they say it is not a religion at all. It was a way of life. हिंदू गुरु लोग सब मेरे लाइन में आ जाएंगे. ये बच्चों को क्या तू wrong लग रहा है? And then came the Mughal dynasty, who tried to hit our religion. Then we become little bit anxious. You understand anxious? How can you hit our religion? फिर हम लोग अपना religion को Hinduism लेकर आए. If I tell you reality, Hinduism have its date around 4,000 to 5,000 years before. Sorry to say, Islam, Christianity are just 2,000 years old. After the birth of the Christ, only Christianity started. After the birth of Prophet Muhammad, the Islam started. उसके पहले किधर था? नहीं था. So they say these are offshoots. You understand offshoots? जो main branch से लोग offshoot है. Like if I tell you Allah is the only God they believe, Jesus is the only God they believe. In Hinduism also they say it is Lord Shiva. Correct? हाँ. That is the only God. From हम लोग तो अपना preference के लिए जय माता और दुनिया भर का माँ का नाम रख दिया. But the God is only one. So क्या difference है? Same ही तो है. And in our religion also we say Lord Shiva doesn't have any shape at all. He is just one small soul. फिर सब लोग ने बोला रहेगा फिर भी तो हमारा भगवान कैसे दिखता है? तो शंकर को बना दिया उन्होंने. देखो शिव शंकर आता है. शंकर is the human figure of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva मतलब only a शिवलिंग. अभी समझ में आया? Islam people doesn't have any figure of the God at all. Neither the Christian. वो तो उनका एक सिंबल है. तो हम भी तो ओम बना के नहीं बोलता है. हाँ. मतलब क्या है? Every religion says only one. There is no God or there is no figure, nothing. So more or less everything is the same. So what is there to fight? So here again what Anuj was reading, develop a sense of common identity, share history or descent. This commonness does not exist from immemorial. मतलब जब तक हमारा याददाश्त, it was forged through struggles. ये struggles इंडिया में कब आया? When Mughals entered into our religion. Who was the founder of the Mughal dynasty in India? Babur. So when Babur settled in India, he tried to challenge the some Hindu kings. आपका religion कुछ भी नहीं है. तब फिर हम लोग भी हो गया. अरे हमारा religion को तू कौन बोला? You know which European power entered India first? हमारा textbook में नहीं लिखा.
East India Company.
That was the last. Thank you, by the way. Who was the first European power to enter? Very good. It was the Portugal. Then came the French. Then came the British. You go to Church of Goa, है ना? I haven't gone, but some people say आज भी Portuguese influence है. You go to a territory called Pondicherry. The Portugal influence is there. It's a union territory. So this is what we are saying. When foreign invasion took place, then only we started making little bit of radical Hindus. अभी का government तो बोलता है हमारा country was up till Israel. Seriously, did I not say this to you? वो भी client 2 मिनट में बोल देता हूँ. So this part of India, we always say this is that belonging to China, and this part belong to Pakistan. They call this as POK. What does that POK stands for? And this
Pakistan.
this part belongs to China. What is this? Akshay Chindu. अभी इसको अक्षय चिंटू उसने Chinese नाम देके बैठा है. All thanks to again Nehru, who has given these two territory to China and ये भी country. This is Akshay Chindu. मतलब this part is with China, which is our own part. When Nehru signed the treaty of accession with those people, one of the supermost civil servant stopped Nehru. Please, ये मत दीजिए, ये हमारा territory है. You know Nehru ने क्या बोला? nothing, desert, stony mountains. रखने दो, is a gift of from India. हाँ, so he was a bald and no hair fellow. तो उसने बोला देखो मेरे सर में बाल है, तो मैं सर काट के किसी को दूं क्या? But he doesn't have the courage to say no to Nehru. But it was given Akshay Chin. And this is also POK. I think there are 35,000 square kilometer area taken by China. That is the UNSC. वो बाद में आता हूँ. हिंदी चीनी भाई भाई, उन लोग ने भाई भाई का कर्तव्य निभाया बराबर से. Then Amit Shah's statement on 5th October, am I correct? When inside the Lok Sabha you are saying, we will lose our lives, but we will not give Akshay Chin to China. Sooner or later, we will take it back from China. ये politically हमारा है. Correct? Mistake done by the leaders. Can I say we have the longest capital ever? Social capital. नहीं, ऐसा capital नहीं चाहिए हम. And if I tell you the real cause of the war, Mao Zedong, the Chinese Prime Minister, who had made the attack to India, he was in India for more than, I think, 3 days. And Mr. Nehru was showing all the details of the secrecy of the military to him. Seriously, उनको नहीं लगा कि ये चाइना अटैक करेगा. वो बोला देखो एयरफोर्स कुछ नहीं हमारे पास, 1-2 बॉम्बर प्लेन्स हो भी पुराना. तो माओ सेडुंग ने पूरा किया. Very good, very good. The day he went to China, after 1 week, the China attacked India. All thanks to Nehru. And हमारा जो president था वो I think he was out of India. जब अटैक होने के बाद उसको SOS मैसेज गया, वो भाई साहब अपना पिकनिक छोड़ के भाग गया. So this was India during the 1968 or 65 war. What kind of Congress government was ruling India? At least if you have seen that movie called Uri, one dialogue I cannot forget. ये नया India है, घुस के मारता है. इधर घुसा वो नहीं बता सकता, but घुस के मारा है. Now there is an electric failure in one part of Pakistan. People go under the bed. I बोला ना, मतलब सब लोग बोलते हैं इंडिया अटैक कर रहा है, सब अंदर घुसो. फिर 15 मिनट के बाद नहीं वो ट्रांसफॉर्मर उड़ गया बाहर आओ सब. इतना डर है पाकिस्तान में. So this is what India should be. India is no more a soft nation. You understand what is a soft nation? Anybody will come and attack, anybody will do something. फिर हमारा पगड़ी वाला सरदार फिर बैठ के डिसाइड करेगा. हाँ, कुछ नहीं करने का, डिस्कस करेंगे. When that 7 or 10 terrorists entered Mumbai, attacking different parts of Mumbai, America was ready to help India to fight against Pakistan. Israel was ready to give their war fight against Pakistan. But what India did? Wait, अतिथि देवो. वो आए हैं, कुछ लोगों को मारा है. हम देखेंगे. क्या कुछ लोगों को मारा है. Correct? So this is what India has to change again. Now they say, forget about Pakistan. Even America itself want India to go and make Putin stop the war. Do you think 10-5 years के before India को कोई पूछता भी था? सर अब आइए सर, वो नहीं मान रहे सर. तो जानना तूने आएगा नहीं आएगा कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Look at the culprit Imran Khan. Why is he culprit? Exactly on the 24th March when Russian president is declaring war, he was exactly with Putin. And he was handshaking. I did not hear the view, what they were saying. My interpretation is, Imran Khan, the tallest fellow, and Putin is not that tall like Imran. Don't worry, sir. You are attacking Ukraine. Very good, sir. You want the terrorists from Pakistan? We are always there, sir. You want any weapons? We are always there. Putin बोलेगा मुंह बंद करके जा. मुझे मालूम है. So for that, Imran Khan has been removed from his office.
Sir, after that, America ने ban पे लगाया.
So look what is happening to the world. So I will go a little bit out of the topic, but no problem. Now they say we are having NWO in the world. What does NWO stands for? New World Order. Now people say Russia on one side as a supreme leader, equivalent to India, one more supreme leader. Then USA will be, I don't know, what is the position of US? USA is losing its shine and the glory. Russia is there. Russia ने भी already और 2 यूरोपियन नेशन को वॉर्न कर दिया. वॉर्न क्या कर दिया? पूरा उसका आर्मी को बाउंड्री में डाल भी दिया. Sweden and Finland. And it has already given strict warning to Romania. तू तेरा मुंह बंद करके रहे. अगर मुंह खोला NATO का नाम से पिक्चर्स दिखा रहा हो, रनिंग पिक्चर्स. Don't ask. Keyword. देख ले. Look, putting from one tir, he is making so many nishan. है ना? बोलते ना एक इतना सारा वो ये कर रहा है. And America itself is in a tattering position. What Putin might do any time. And he is afraid of India also because Russian is having a high regard to India. China, now it has to pacify India. Please, sir. I think after the war, I think 15 days, there is a person from China called Wang Yi. He dropped in India without any invitation. In fact, he wanted to meet Mr. Modi also. Modi ne bola, मेरे पास time नहीं उसको ऐसे भगा दो. Chinese noodles खिलाओ भगाओ. हाँ, he was in Gujarat. ऐसे नहीं बोला. What does it mean? Except that Russian foreign minister, Putin did not meet, Modi did not meet to any ministers. Around 11 to 15 ministers came to India to meet Mr. Modi. एक ही दिन में अमेरिका से भी बंदा आया और रशिया से भी आया. इंडिया में आके मिलने. हाँ. So this shows that how many people want to meet Mr. Modi. For what? Asking his dress attire? No. They wanted to seek the view of India. What are you thinking? Why are you keeping quiet? Why don't you raise a voice? So India now openly Joe Biden के साथ जब direct उनका बात हुआ, Mr. Modi, I am talking to Putin also. I am talking to Zelensky also. In fact, India is the only country in the world which has given tons and tons of wheat to Ukrainian citizens free of cost. And what America, Britain, France, and Germany doing? Tons and tons of bullets only they are giving. As if Ukrainian citizens are going to eat the bullets. मतलब what America has done? आप आगे बढ़ो. एक भी citizen Ukraine में बचना नहीं चाहिए. सब लोग मर जाओ. He's giving so much amount of weapons. But India on humanitarian grounds, it's supplying wheat. It's supplying medicines. What is that? It's throwing false news. What? Maybe some coil of dollars. Leave it. Is there some coil? This girl is reacting. Okay, let's proceed now. It was forged through struggles, through the actions of underlying leaders and common people. A centralized power exercised underlying sovereign control over clearly defined territory. So India के पास ये सारा है. Do we have a clearly defined territory? Yes. But in between, who is fiddling with India? On one side, Pakistan, and other side, China. But sooner or later, we have to take this. I can tell you many stories, not stories. Without fighting, India has mastered a plan that POK को India के अंदर कैसा लेने का. And slowly they are working on it. And without Kashmir तो अपना ही था, but they made that Article 370 ना. But this is what the master plan of the government is. Sooner or later, we will become Akhanda Bharat. Means India's map will include up till Israel. We will not take over them. Map में रहेगा. They will have their own sovereignty. But you are part of our country. Correct? Let's proceed. So now you check. You want me to give the definition of nation state in your notebook? One line ka de do. Instead of that 2-3 lines, write down what is a nation state. Aditya, write down what is a nation state. A country in which a nation state is a country in which a state in which all its citizens, a state in which all its citizens, for only silence, including citizens, including all its citizens,
All its citizens including
rulers,
a state in which
all its citizens, rulers, including rulers, administrators, including rulers, administrators, develop a common identity. It is right from the volume, but I'm just slight changes I'm doing. Administrators develop a sense of common identity. With actions of leaders with the actions of leaders and common people. With the actions of leaders and common people through THROUGH. Through a sovereign control. Through a sovereign control over a well-defined territory or territory. Over a well-defined territory. INED. Master instrument. Right up. Territory. TERR. Now read this. I think you find it easy as compared to your volume. Nation state.
Does not written first up.
Wonderful. Hey, is my dictation going very fast? Then why you guys are missing so many words? Anuj bol, इसको मेरा accent समझ में नहीं आता. हाँ. What accent है? Wait, let me check with these guys. Hey, online people, are you catching my words clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here is one of your friends. She is putting an accusation on me. My accent is not correct. That's what she is saying. समझ गया. अरे बोल दो क्या बोल दो. ठीक है बाद में. This nation state definition easy for you all guys to read.
Yes, sir.
बेचारा जसलिन तो अभी माथे पे. क्या हो गया जसलिन? Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
आपके पीछे there are many articles of gym, is it? Are you into hardworking, hardcore gymmer? पक्का? हमको यहाँ से डर लग रहा है. कौन करता कौन है फिर घर में?
Dad.
अच्छा, तो बॉडी बिल्डर, रेसलर. अच्छा डैडी. वो तो हाँ बोलो. Okay, let's get into French Revolution now. I am taking little bit faster French Revolution because it was there in your 9th standard. Am I correct? So look at that 4 lines. Clear
Yes, sir.
expression of nationalism. Underline that word, clear expression. Underline the year 1789. ऐसा लगता है कि मैं बहुत फास्ट है और तुम लोग बहुत स्लो है. That is the problem. France was, underline, full-fledged territorial state. Underline. No need. The political and constitutional changes that came in the wake of French Revolution. Underline. Transfer of sovereignty. Sovereignty means power. From whom to whom? Monarch to the body of French citizen. Tumhara dost explain. Then revolution proclaimed that it was, underlined, people henceforth, underline, destined. ये चारों लाइन का एक ही लाइन मीनिंग बनता है. What is that? Overthrowing the monarch. Common French people become the ruler. Now, can you say the same lines to Indians? No. Overthrowing the leaders. No. You and me get into the parliament. You know? Why not? Why not? Because it was we who have elected them. Is if not Narendra Modi himself went, नहीं मुझे पार्लियामेंट अच्छा लगता है, मैं जाके बैठेगा. अच्छा लगता है तो क्या हो गया, घूम के निकल बाहर. Correct है? I don't know, you might have seen the pictures of Mr. Narendra Modi. He was full flat in before entering the parliament. हाँ, साष्टांग नमस्कार बोलते हैं हम लोग शायद हिंदी में. Imagine what Rahul Gandhi might have tweeted. वो नीचे लिखा रहेगा, old man fall down, please let anybody live. He doesn't know what is साष्टांग नमस्कार also. Then बोलेगा चाय वाला है ना ऐसे ही नीचे गिर के उठता है. तो I intend to ask him, sir, अगर इंडिया के प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनते तो क्या करता? The first thing I will do, Italian pizza to all the 522 people. बोले क्यों? क्योंकि बहुत दिन से मैंने ऑर्डर किया बट मुझे मौका ही नहीं मिल रहा सबको खिलाने का. Sir, why not other pizza? No, my motherland, Italy. ए तू तो इंडिया का रहने वाला, तो क्या हो गया, मेरी मम्मी इटली की रहने वाली। Are you understanding what I'm joke I'm uttering? Means अच्छा ये सब अभी समझ में आया, these guys are looking at me seriously. Means when you become the leader of the nation, the first thing you have to tell to the people that we are a proud nation. If you are an acquired citizen, you understand an acquired citizen? In fact, many people say the father of the Sonia Gandhi was a fascist leader's left or a right hand fellow. Who was that fascist leader in Italy? आपको हिस्ट्री में था, बेनितो मुसोलिनी। मतलब हाँ, बेनितो मुसोलिनी, he was ruling Italy like that of the Hitler. तो सोच लो, उनका पापा डायरेक्टली उसको रिपोर्ट करता था। तो नो डाउट मैडम पूरा इंडियंस को अपने पास रिपोर्ट करने बोल सकती, सब लोग मेरे से परमिशन लेके जाओ। That kind of a dictatorship leader. Are you understanding? Let's proceed now. Let's proceed. What steps did French revolutionaries take part? Underline that only word, collective identity. Let us give it to her. She is complimenting my pronunciation. I don't know. Let's start with her. The answer. Read. क्यों सब कुछ तो हिंदी में बोल रहा है, समझती है? Read. I need to amuse what is happening. It's okay. Part and part stuff.
From the very beginning, the French revolutionaries introduced various measures and practices that create a sense of collective.
Underline again that word, collective identity. Next.
Amongst the French people. The ideas of the
It is la patrie and mission. ये मैंने थोड़ा फ्रेंच सीखा है मेहनत से. It is the word is la patrie and mission. Aditya बोलना, repeat the word.
La patrie and mission.
What does it mean?
The fatherland and the
The
citizens.
citizens. Oh, you guys have learned French, huh? Such a easy language to be learned. So why did they say the word fatherland? Why not motherland?
Because French is masculine.
French is masculine. फिर इंडिया का क्या कोई masculinity? It is feminine. Very good. Huh? He is having ready answer everywhere. Means they say we belong to the one father and we are the. No, they didn't say Jesus. Don't confuse the history of France. And then Sion means what?
Citizens.
We are the citizens of the same land. Although they use the Statue of Liberty, then which figure it was? Masculine or feminine?
Sir,
हाँ.
but मुझे French subject है स्कूल में,
हाँ.
तो la feminine के लिए use होता है, le masculine के लिए use होता है.
ऐसा है क्या? इतना बात?
हिंदी
इतना?
में पता है.
अच्छा, but इतना डिटेल में मैं फ्रेंच में पढ़ा. अच्छा ठीक है. You challenge me. I don't know.
I'm just challenging.
No, please. What's her name? Read. Look at the language girls. Read now.
What is this?
ये इसका जैसे कि बोल रहा है सीता की नहीं वो बच्चे ने पहला होमवर्क लेकर आके मुझे देखा only for ठीक है, go to the next line. I need to finish. A new French flag, the tricolor, was chosen, underline, to replace the former. Wait now, he is getting disturbed. What is this? Royal standard. Wait, I'll show them the right way. So you have to write these three words in your notebook. Put the heading in your notebook, collective identity. ये फ्रेंच टीचर ने बोला क्या ला पत्र में ला ऐसा कुछ है क्या?
नहीं सर, वो basic grammar में आ जाता है.
अच्छा. Now I have learned French using a small app. वो बैठ के घर में पढ़ता रहता है. And my mother gets a little bit dizzy. ये कौन सा language बात कर रहा है? Right now, collective identity. French revolutionaries. Write down. Collective identity. लिखा नहीं. What's it? Ashita. That they also say. French revolutionaries introduced a new sense of collective identity. French revolutionaries introduced a new sense of collective identity through. अभी मैं अर्शिता के लिए बोल रहा हूँ. Through. समझा ना? Through. Write A, small a. Through A, La Patre. Careful with the spelling, huh? La, it is there in the volume. तुम एक काम करो, इधर आ, उसको इधर भेज दो. I'll take care of her personally. इधर आ. She won't get this. She's crying for you.
The sense of identity is there.
No. She's smiling for you. Like I said, don't worry. La Patre.
So sense of identity.
Through. La Patre A. Then B. Lycion. Above. Through A. La Patre. Below B. Lycion. And C. No, don't worry. C. A new tricolor French flag. Hold on. A new tricolor French flag. I don't know. This girl was doing all kinds of mockery with that ACS. Was it some? Hopefully not. You are at the forefront of the ACM. New tricolor French flag. Of.
Yes.
Huh.
Also, I'm saying I can tell this one individually.
Acha, kar na fir. I thought you were doing some other work which I am not doing.
Sir,
A is La Patre, B is Lycion, C is new tricolor French flag. Did everyone write on online also? Okay, where is the third person I've gone? He'll come back. Write the next point. Yes. Using these terms, I will hold on. Using these terms, बुकी तुम्हारे हाथ में दिया नहीं चाहिए. अच्छा, she is having a book. अच्छा, वो भी नहीं बोल पा सकते. Freedom of expression. Sorry. Using these terms along with new hymns or hymns, whatever you pronounce. Along with new hymns, oath. Celebration of martyrs. You understand martyrs, na? A new nation. Celebration of martyrs, a new nation. Then a strong French identity. New nation. Along with hymns, oath.
the celebration of
Martyrs, a new strong nation was created. A new strong French nation was created. Change the para. Change the para. French administration with a centralized system. Uniform laws. With centralized system, uniform laws, system with uniform laws, enriched. It's enriched, ENRICHED. It's newfound freedom. You understand newfound freedom? जो उनको नया मिला, newfound freedom. Thank you. I'll see you in my next week. Please read at least 2 pages ahead what we are doing, so that when we will move, एक किसका complete है इसको दे दो, जिसका भी complete अपना friend पे लगो. Okay then, Aditya and Jaspreet remain. You get your one more lecture. Okay. Thank you.